สดีค่ะผู้บริหารและบุคลากรทางการศึกษาทุกท่านเราสองคนทีมงานนิทรรศการสื่อการสอนใหม่ Worlddidac เอเชียขอเรียนเชิญคณาจารย์ที่กำลังมองหาสื่อการเรียนการสอนสำหรับสถาบันการศึกษาของท่านเข้าร่วมกิจกรรมออนไลน์ Match and Meet ครั้งที่ 3 ค่ะ
ซึ่งจะจัดขึ้นตรงกับวันที่ 27 พฤษภาคม ตั้งแต่เวลา 9 นาฬิกาถึง 18 นาฬิกาผ่านทาง Zoom Meeting นะคะ โดยกิจกรรมนี้จัดขึ้นเพื่ออำนวยความสะดวกให้กับคณาจารย์และผู้ประกอบการได้พูดคุยอัปเดตเกี่ยวกับเทรนด์การศึกษานั่นเองค่ะ
และเปิดโอกาสให้ผู้ประกอบการได้นำเสนอสื่อการเรียนการสอนใหม่ๆนะคะไม่ว่าจะเป็นสื่อดิจิทัลเพื่อการเรียนการสอนห้องเรียนอัจฉริยะ Smart Classroom สื่อพัฒนาทักษะสเต็มศึกษาและวิทยาการคำนวณชุดฝึกอาชีวศึกษาค่ะ
รวมถึงอุปกรณ์ป้องกันการแพร่ระบาดในสถานศึกษาและอื่นๆอีกมากมายโดยอาจารย์สามารถพูดคุยกับผู้ประกอบการไทยและผู้ประกอบการจากต่างประเทศได้โดยตรงผ่านโปรแกรม Zoom Meeting ซึ่งจะทำให้ทุกท่านสะดวกและมีความปลอดภัยเพียงแค่มีมือถือหรือคอมพิวเตอร์และสัญญาณอินเทอร์เน็ตก็สามารถที่จะเข้าร่วมกิจกรรมนี้ได้เลยค่ะ
หากอาจารย์ท่านใดนะคะสนใจเข้าร่วมกิจกรรมนี้หรือต้องการสอบถามข้อมูลเพิ่มเติมสามารถติดต่อได้ทาง LINE @WDDA ค่ะและทางทีมงานนะคะยังสามารถออกจดหมายเรียนเชิญอย่างเป็นทางการเพื่ออำนวยความสะดวกให้กับอาจารย์ได้เข้าร่วมกิจกรรมครั้งนี้กับเราด้วยค่ะ
อย่าลืมนะคะพบกับพวกเรากับกิจกรรมออนไลน์ Match and Meet ครั้งที่ 3 ในวันที่ 27 พฤษภาคมตั้งแต่เวลา 9 นาฬิกาถึง 18 นาฬิกาค่ะ
แล้วพบกันนะคะสวัสดีค่ะ Good afternoon everyone welcome to Adopting Best Practice by Worlddidac Online Academy The topic today is digital teaching and learning in technical vocational education and training with Festo learning experience Our speaker Dr. Philip Melser he is product manager from Festo learning experience He will share us how to implement digital and hybrid teaching and learning by using the new Festo learning experience. Today we have bilingual Q&A at the end of session. Please feel free to send your question or any comments and our speaker will answer your question at the end of session. And now he is ready to meet all of you. Please welcome Dr. Philip Melser from Festo learning experience.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for having me at Worlddidac. My name is Philip Melzer, and in this presentation, I'd like to give you a quick insight into digital teaching and learning in technical and vocational education with Festo learning experience. Let me quickly introduce myself. Using some guiding questions. So, my name is Philip. I'm working at Festo Didactic as a product manager for Festo Learning Experience, and I'd like to give you a quick overview of my past experience and how I came to this position and to this topic and tasks that I'm currently working at. So, basically, more than 15 years ago, I started to study information systems because I was interested in the interplay between computer science, software, and people. So this first guiding question I was interested in back then was how do people interact with software? And we have seen that in a lot of examples around the globe since then, that as a software tool can be implemented technologically in a perfect way, can use the latest technology, can use the latest hardware and software mechanisms, but still it might be used differently than intended. It might not be accepted by its intended users, and therefore it's successful or it's maybe not successful. So one example here are of course the COVID-19 apps or Corona apps that we have currently in place and in use in several countries around the globe that are highly important to deal with the pandemic situation we have currently going on. But of course, if you have a look at the different implementations in different countries, of course we have varying success, and this is mainly, in my opinion, due to the different levels of acceptance of these apps, and of course also to different communication and features. So after my studies in the field of information systems, I wanted to combine this interest with another interest of mine, which is learning and teaching. So basically, also already during my studies, I tried to learn as efficiently as possible, of course, to optimize my learning process, to of course get good grades, but also do not invest too much time into the learning. And I wanted to go on with this interest by doing a PhD where I hopefully got the possibility to do that. And I there ended up with the topic of personalized learning in blended learning scenarios. And the question behind that was, how can people learn? What are the differences between certain individuals in a learning process? And of course, bringing this together with the first question I outlined, the second question was meant to be, how do people learn using software? So how can we combine traditional learning, for example, in a classroom with digital education and digital teaching and learning? And what are useful modes of combining those two worlds? And besides the research I was doing in my PhD, I also worked as a lecturer at my university, giving lectures to the students, and here at the same time also gathering experience as an educator in the field of adult learning. So since last year, I'm working as a product manager for Festo Learning Experience at Festo Didactic, and therefore I have the chance to kind of use these first two guiding questions, again transform them a bit into a new direction, and now invest my time into the question how to implement digital learning in technical and vocational education. And this is a very interesting question because it's a interesting field that requires action-oriented learning and authentic learning. And that's what I want to tell you a bit about, what we are doing here at Festo Didactic to help you as educators and teachers. But let me give you a short introduction also of Festo Didactic. Festo Didactic is part of Festo Group, where we have Festo Automation, who create and deliver components, systems, and solutions all around the topic of industry automation. And at Festo Didactic, we are focusing on learning solutions, including courseware, learning systems, digital learning, and lifelong learning solutions. And we bring together the knowledge from both sides here to, of course, on the one hand side, increase the productivity of industry companies all around the world by using those automation products. And at the same time, we want to increase the employability of the workforce all around the globe by our education and learning solutions on these fields of industry automation. And at Festo Didactic, of course, the didactic concept behind that is of major importance for us. So this means that we start with the didactic needs of our customers and markets, create a customized didactic solution out of our didactic methods toolbox. This solution can include hardware and software, usually also hands-on learning, as this is vital for technical and vocational education, and in the end to target the learning success that should be achieved and the competences that should be developed. As Festo Didactic, we work together with educational institutions like vocational schools, universities and colleges. We work together with industry partners to help them solving their workforce requirements regarding employability, regarding competency development. and we work together with learners and students to create a motivating learning experience tailored to their individual needs. So let's give you a quick motivation for this talk today from the perspective of digital education. So having done some research and teaching myself in these fields, I mean, in the past almost 2 decades, we have seen a lot happening in digital education. First of all, with the advent of mobile phones, smartphones, so to say, tablets and other electronic devices, we are not bound anymore to classroom learning. We have the additional possibility to learn basically wherever and whenever we want. So that's basically one of the first important benefits of digital education in augmenting, modifying, and redefining education in general. Using these methods, digital education was first mostly meant to scale up teaching and learning. So the idea of MOOCs was created, so-called massive open online courses that address a large amount of students at the same time by providing information online, by providing it openly to the public oftentimes, and therefore addressing a large crowd. However, the problem with these courses often is that they are not as much tailored to the individual requirements of the students, that there is no personalized or individualized learning involved. Therefore, since 2010, at the latest, the idea of personalized and individual learning was created, trying to address what we do as teachers and educators for decades in the classroom, having a look at our students, talking to our students, trying to support and facilitate their learning processes by trying to help them understand the things we are teaching them, and by providing, for example, different teaching and learning materials in audio content, video content, by providing textual content, different didactic methods of teaching to give them a good learning experience. And this is nowadays transferred to digital education as well, using different media, different methods, and doing all that in a flexible way and also scalable way. Since nowadays the AI methods, the artificial intelligence, the big data algorithms help us to customize and tailor learning to the individual students. And furthermore, we nowadays also have different blended learning or hybrid learning mechanisms, for example, like the flipped classroom, which give us as educators a concept we can work with to implement digital education meaningfully. So the flipped classroom, for example, turns around traditional learning we have had in schools for several years, where the standard model was to first of all teach theoretical content in the classroom, and afterwards have a homework where the students exercise, where the students apply the learned knowledge in a practical task. The flipped classroom flips exactly this procedure by leveraging the benefits of digital education, as digital education is very good in creating and transmitting theoretical knowledge, and we can accommodate the students that they are able to learn wherever they want and whenever they want, bringing those 4 elements together. They can learn a theory wherever they want. That's easy. They can learn a theory whenever they want until they prepare for the second activity of the flipped classroom, which is application together in co-presence in the classroom. So for the valuable effort, for the valuable activity of discussing the theoretically acquired knowledge, for immersing deeper in the knowledge, for applying the knowledge together in complex examples, we need still classroom learning. And this is, of course, a very important idea that we also want to pursue at Festo Didactic, that digital learning is not important in itself, but it is always related to traditional education and to classroom activities. And of course, the question now is how to implement this digital education, digital learning as an educator in technical and vocational education, and especially with this year and the last year where we have this COVID-19 pandemic, which, as you can see here, has interrupted classroom learning for at least 9 out of 10 students worldwide. So as you can see on the map, basically in every country around the world, schools have been closed on a local level or on a countrywide level during spring 2020, and in a lot of countries this is still the case today. And we are putting a lot of pressure on educators, on teachers, and in the end, of course, also on the students by forcing all of them now to only focus on digital education. And that's basically the motivation of this presentation, to show you a way how this can be done using our Festo learning experience. So what I would like to do in this presentation is to show to you the day in the life of a teacher, and basically to give you an understanding, I would like to outline the requirements of a teacher in technical and vocational education. So of course, as a teacher, when preparing the contents for my class, I, for example, want to use a didactically sound courseware. I want probably to create or adapt existing courseware and materials that I found in my research, that I want to adapt to my teaching style, that I want to adapt to a curriculum I have to teach, or that I want to adapt to a company where the teaching takes place. I would, of course, want to monitor learning progress and success as a teacher, what I have to do as part of the grading, but I want to do it in a digital education, especially to give feedback to the students and also to get feedback regarding my teaching process. Furthermore, I want to distribute the courseware easily to the students according to their individual needs. And finally, also, I want to have a consistent and reliable tool to work with, where I don't have to focus on providing infrastructure requirements and deal with the technology behind that a lot. So let's immerse in the day of the teacher Craig Macy. Craig Macy is 46 years old. As a teacher, he's teaching mechatronics and industrial Internet of Things. And on a Saturday afternoon, he wants to prepare the teaching and classes for the next weeks together with his students. So usually this would require an extensive research regarding the materials he wants to use, the creation and modification of materials, as well as, of course, the creation of a didactic concept, how the teaching should take place. And let's switch now directly into Festo Learning Experience to have a look together how these activities can take place over there in Festo Learning Experience. So I have switched to my browser. You should see the landing page of Festo Learning Experience here, where you can browse to right now yourself if you like. You will find some basic information on Festo Learning Experience, but we, of course, want to directly log in with Craig Macy's account and have a look into the system. So basically, after login, we can see the main menu on the left-hand side, where all the main features are available. And on the right-hand side, we see the dashboard showing the groups and classes I'm currently teaching as Craig Macy, where I can see recently updated courses I've been working with and further information. So first of all, we could quickly have a look at the learning groups. So I will switch to groups in the main menu, and we can see that I am currently teaching the Smart Maintenance class 2020-2021 and a Smart Sensors class. And yeah, let's now create the content for those Smart Sensors students. We can quickly have a look into the group. We can see here are our students that are part of the group, and they have not assigned any content to work with right now. So for next week and the following weeks, we should come up with some kind of content to teach them. And well, how can we do that? Let's just have a look at the FestoLX courseware portfolio. So I will navigate to search in the main menu, and we can basically see the tiles here, each of them representing one of the topic areas in FestoLX, from electricity and electronics over Industry 4.0 and IoT, factory automation, industrial trades, metalworking, organization and people, logistics, and STEM, and many more. Each of these tiles includes courses, and if we click on them, we can see the courses. We can alternatively also use the search feature to search for a specific topic or filter for the courses. If we have a look at the filtering options, we can either filter for specific courses as well as learning nuggets. We can filter for categories, which are basically the tiles you have just seen, and we can filter for course types. These are quite important for what we are going to do now, and therefore let's have a look at three of them. First, FestoLX provides so-called e-learning courses. Those e-learning courses are standalone materials which we can assign to the students. The students would then just log into FestoLX, open their browsers, and acquire the mainly theoretical knowledge that is part of these courses on their PC or device. Secondly, we have so-called eLab courses on FestoLX. These eLab courses rely on physical learning system hardware we provide at FestoDidactic, meaning they are focusing on an action-oriented teaching approach, which is vital for technical and vocational education, as they include courseware available on FestoLX with practical learning hardware that is directly besides the PC, that is available in the workshop or in the shop floor. And third, we provide so-called evaluations on FestoLX, which are the representation of a test or an exam, which is again performed directly on FestoLX over the browser having an internet connection. You can see further course types available here, which due to the time restrictions, I won't go into details. So maybe let's first have a look at the e-learning courses. So let's filter for e-learning courses only in the area of electricity and electronics. And we see that we have 3 courses available here right now. And yeah, first, let's maybe have a look at this course Electronics 1, as it might be a good prerequisite for what we want to do with our students in the upcoming weeks. So let's first bookmark this course so we can easily find it later on. And let's open the course overview to have a closer look at it. We can see here a quick topic description of this Electronics 1 course. We see it is 5 hours, so maybe depending on our curricula, 1 to 2 weeks of teaching. And we can have a look here at the course structure, where we can see 4 learning units and a practice-related case study in the end. We can have a closer look at the course. So after the course has opened, we are on the starting page. We can, for example, have a look at all the course pages here in the overview. or navigate step by step through the course using these arrow buttons. And you can see here that an introduction is given, combining, for example, text and pictures. That we can see here also that courses do not follow a almost always linear path, but we can also have a focus field, like example, semiconductor technology here, and we can go back to the main course. We can directly jump a bit further in the course to show you also the interactivity here, for example, regarding PN junction, where we also have animations and videos included, which can be used to explain more complex processes step by step. Also, such a standard course does not only focus on knowledge transmission, but is also including test exercises here. So if we go one step further, we can see a multiple choice question. And as we are logged in as the teacher Craig Macy, we can directly see the correct results here, as well as some feedback that is provided to the students if they do not provide the correct results, if they do these questions. Of course, the students themselves would not see the results directly, but first have to do an input here. So you can see, for example, multiple choice questions provided together also with animated materials or pictures, and we also provide other forms of questions and quiz elements here, for example, drag and drop questions and similar. Okay, so this course looks quite nice. If we have a look at the contents, this is exactly what we want. So good, we have created it as a bookmark and can later on assign it to our learning group. But maybe we want to have a further look into the courseware library. So let's get back to search. And now let's have a look into the field of industrial IoT and Industry 4.0. So I just opened the tile with this name, and we can see all the courses that are available here in this field. And here we see the course Fundamental Principles of Smart Sensors. So of course, this looks very interesting for our Smart Sensors class. So let's bookmark the course and let's have a look at it. And in the overview, we see that this course is a so-called eLab course, meaning it is related to festodidactic learning systems that are required to perform this course. Again, in the overview, we can see the course structure with learning units and learning nuggets included in these units. And as it is an eLab course, we can see also the equipment that is required for this course. So each of the elements stated here is one piece of equipment that is included in the course from a content perspective, and that helps the students in this course, or the students that perform this course, to have a successful action-oriented learning experience here. Meaning they access content over FestoLX in their web browser, and they have the equipment besides them in the workshop, in the shop floor, where they can, on the fly, do their exercises practically, and in the end insert the results into the FestoLX course again, and have a successful learning experience. Finally, we can also see that this course is assigned with specific learning outcomes, so we can have an easy look at this and see whether this course matches into the curriculum we are doing for smart sensors. So looks quite nice. So we have already bookmarked this course. We could have a closer look onto the contents right now, but due to the time, I will go over that quickly. And we go back to the courseware library, where we want to have a look whether we can find some evaluation for smart sensors. So going back to the courseware library, we would now use the search function to show you another way of easily finding what you are searching for in the courseware library. We can see smart sensors and all the smart sensors courses available in the courseware library, and we can see that there is an evaluation present. So that's exactly what we were looking for. Let's bookmark it and let's have a closer look. So the evaluation matches directly the course we just have had a look at on smart sensors. We see it has the type evaluation, and we can go one step further by viewing the content. And after the content is available, we can see the rules of engagement. So an evaluation on FasterLX usually consists of 20 randomly selected questions. The students have 30 minutes time to answer those questions, and randomly the order of the questions may change. We are now again logged in as a teacher, so we will directly see the answers, while the students, of course, would have to provide the answers themselves. And such an evaluation again combines different methods of quiz questions, like combining questions here, single choice or multiple choice questions, and further methods of testing. So basically, that's it to give you a quick overview of the evaluations. And we will now go back. So I will move to the My Courses section on FasterLX, where we can see courses we have bookmarked in the past or courses we have created ourselves, for example. So you can see here, for example, in the By line, that we have courses created ourselves on these topics of robot programming and robot automation. We can create our own courses here, combining existing learning nuggets or creating content ourselves in the LX creator directly in FasterLX, but that's not the focus of this presentation. So let's search for the courses we have bookmarked. We can see here the evaluation we bookmarked. We can see the electronics course, and we can see the smart sensors course right here. Besides that, we have other courses we have been teaching, so that's just our individual view on this topic. To provide an assignment to our learning group, we have several possibilities. So first of all, let's create an assignment here. Moving to the Show Assignments, we can assign the course either directly here to our learners, or we can also alternatively move to the Group section and select our Smart Sensors class and do the assignment here. Depending on the way you like more, the result will be the same. So let's just create a new assignment for our group. We will create first the assignment for Electronics 1, because here the idea is to provide some theoretical learning. We would start the learning right now and make this course available for 1 month. So within this period, the students could then work with the course, acquire the knowledge, do the tests that are integrated, and prepare themselves for the practical learning that follows afterwards. So just create the assignment, and we can see now start date and due date, as well as our learners that are part of the Smart Sensors class. We also see their learning progress, which is just the number of pages they have progressed through in this course. And we have the learning success, which is the number of correctly answered questions that are part of this course. Let's do the next assignment. So this will keep them busy for some time. The next assignment will be the eLab course we want to provide, which is called Fundamental Principles of Smart Sensors. This assignment should start roughly after the first assignment is done. So let's start on March 1st and make this course available until mid-March or end of March. Yeah, like that. We again confirm our selection, and we have created the second assignment. So now the students see that after they have done this first assignment on Electronics 1, there is another assignment on Fundamental Principles of Smart Sensors, and we again get our basic reporting and monitoring capabilities here regarding progress and success. Now, the third assignment, after the students have completed the Fundamental Principles of Smart Sensors eLab course, we want them to do the evaluation. So let's pick the evaluation from the list, pick the respective start and end dates. So let's do that in April, and have it in the first week of April completed. We again confirm it, and we have created a third assignment. So that's how easy it is to search for a specific topic in the FestoLX courseware library, to assign the courses depending on a didactic concept we would like to implement, and to have a look at the progress and success of our learners. The learners, of course, have just received email notifications and notifications within FestoLX itself regarding these assignments, and they can now directly access the assignments. So let's quickly move out of Greg Macy's account just to show you how this would look like from the perspective of a student. We will log in with the account of John Mallard, who is a student, and we can see now that John, as a student, has fewer features available on FestoLX. So he's not allowed to create assignments for his fellow learners, for example. He can also not create own content, but he can learn. And he can use those courses that we have just assigned him. So if we go to the notification section at the top, we can see here that an assignment has been created in the group of smart sensors. We could directly click on it, and we can see now that he has the Electronics 1 assignment going on, and he could directly start learning if we go to view content, and the course would then open if we go to start learning. Alternatively, John can just switch to the assignments page, where he sees that he has several assignments going on. There are 3 active assignments. Introduction to Mechanical Drive System, that's a class there where another teacher is teaching. He's having a smart maintenance class going on, and he's working on the Electronics 1 assignment. That's the one we just provided to him. In the future, he has 2 upcoming assignments, which are the Fundamental Principles of Smart Sensors and the Evaluation on Smart Sensors. And he can also see several completed assignments which he has completed in the past. And we can see here again how he completed them. So again, he has also the reporting available regarding his progress and success. And so he gets direct feedback how well he's performing on FestoLX with the learning materials. So let's just click on Start Learning for the Electronics 1 again, jump into the course and move a bit through the course so that we get some kind of progress reporting from the perspective of Craig Macy. And yeah, that should be sufficient. And we can now move back, log out from the student perspective, and get back into the account of Craig Macy. If we now would switch to the Smart Sensors class, we can see here that regarding the assignments, if we go to John Mallard, we can see that he already started working on the Electronics 1 Semiconductors class. He has a progress of 4%, and success is still 0 because until now no questions were part of this task. And if there will be questions answered successfully, of course this number also rises. So based on this information, as Craig Macy, we could adapt our assignments. If we see that, for example, John does not achieve good results, so we could provide him with an individual assignment regarding further topics that could help him to succeed in his learning. So if we, for example, see that John has problems in the area of electronics, we could again have a look at the courseware library And we saw before that there is another course on Electronics 1, which deepens and immerses more into the topics of circuits, conductivity, and Ohm's law, for example. And if we see from John, also maybe from communicating with John, that these are the topics where he needs more input to succeed also in the other assignments, it is possible with FestoLX to create an individual assignment of this course. So we could even go further and duplicate the course that is here generated by Festodidactic Electrics 1. We create a one-to-one copy of this course, which is open now, which includes all the content that the original course included, but we are now able to edit the structure of this course. So we can see here all the learning units, including specific learning nuggets in the course, and using the buttons on the right-hand side, we are able, for example, to remove specific learning units by using the trash can to, for example, remove learning unit 3. We, for example, know that Ohm's law is the topic that John is interested in. So we could just customize the course to the exact content that he requires, throwing out learning units he won't need, adding new learning units, for example, as well at the end. So we could add a new section, extension for John, to give him some individual tasks to perform. And we could also put in a learning nugget, which includes a specific content here, which is called Electronic Fundamentals for Sensorics. So this is one nugget I created previously, and we could directly add it into this section. We could save what we have done, and the course copy we have created is now automatically modified, and the content is customized to the individual requirements of John Mallard that we have discussed with him. So in the next step, we would do an individual assignment now, not to the whole group of Smart Sensors class, but to John individually. So we go to the main menu, click on Learners, select John. We can see he already has several assignments going on, and we would add up another assignment here for him from our list, which is the copy of Electronics 1 course we just created. We can again provide a start date and end date, and we would select John as the assignee, and we can now see here that it has been added to John's individual assignments. So that's how we can customize the learning and provide an individual assignment using Festo Learning Experience. Okay, so far on the assignments in Festo Learning Experience, I've showed to you how you can find courses in the Coursera library. I've also showed how to assign these courses either to a learning group or to an individual learner. You have further features available on FestoLX, like managing the equipment that is available in your organization. That is also possible to create your own learning content. So we could finally have a look at the Electronic Fundamentals for Sensorics Learning Nugget that we have just added to our copy of the course Electronics 1 for John. So this is the nugget I have previously created. We could either edit this nugget as it is still in draft mode, or we could create a new nugget here from scratch to create our own learning content on FestoLX. So for the sake of time, let's choose to edit this nugget Electronic Fundamentals for Sensorics. When editing learning content on FestoLX, we can provide several information like title, description, language, privacy level, type, difficulty level, location, competency level, and field. This is already filled in here. We can also decide to add equipment, which is required to perform this learning nugget. But in this case, we want to leave it empty, so we won't have any equipment requirements for performing this nugget. It's just a standalone nugget in this case. And finally, we see the LX Creator, which is the authoring tool that is available in Festo LX to create content directly in your web browser. So I already created a basic page for this learning nugget here, and you can now see the modification elements, which are those gray bars, which allow us to directly modify the headlines, the text in this page to create the content directly in your web browser. You can see here it's also possible easily to upload animations or videos just by adding a new element. Pick an image from the organization, from your school, or pick a video from your school and insert it into the page. Alternatively, you're of course able to upload a video from your PC or device, and using the plus button you can choose to create or add new elements to this page. So you see there's a large number of available elements, from textual elements, animations, videos, formatting elements like lists or tables, to linking PDF documents or Office documents to the nugget. Also, in the quiz section here, you can directly integrate elements of knowledge assessment like yes, no questions, single choice, multiple choice, drag and drop, drag to image, and many more. So basically that's how you create content, and you can add the desired number of pages to your new learning nugget, navigate through the nugget using these arrows here, and customize the content individually. If you're done, just click on Save, and the content is saved and directly available to the learners. So we can now jump directly into the nugget we have just modified, and you can see this is exactly the content we have just modified in the LX Creator. We can again move through the course and see how it looks like from the learner's perspective. Okay, so far on Festo LX, and let's move back to the slides to give you a final summary of the key elements of the concept I have just outlined to you, and summarize basically the results. So let me please outline some of the main components from Festo LX, also a bit from a idea and conceptual idea behind what I have showed you in the tool directly. The first topic I'd like to outline is the learning nuggets that are available in Festo LX and their importance to individual learning. So basically, a learning nugget is a content element in Festo LX, which includes 5, 10, or maybe 15 minutes sometimes of learning. And these nuggets are part of our courseware library, so you can choose the nuggets from the library and create a new course on Festo LX, or a so-called learning path, directly and yourself to teach the desired competencies. In the next step, these learning nuggets form a course or a learning path. So you can either choose an existing course to assign it to the students, or create your own learning path or course from existing learning nuggets or learning nuggets you even created yourself. So it is very easy to create new content, to customize the content, and make up maybe for the 10 or 20% that you want to focus on your teaching requirements, your company's or curriculum's requirements, or the requirements of an individual learner. And thirdly, learning nuggets enable adaptive learning on Festo LX, meaning that those learning paths can be assigned to an individual learner or to a learning group, like I have showed to you in the demonstration. And this helps to accommodate for the desired learning methods, available equipment, or previous competencies that are available at a specific learner. Furthermore, the didactic concept behind Festo-LX. The didactic concept is a concept of action-oriented learning, meaning we follow those 4 phases you can see here on the slide in all of our courses on Festo-LX. The learning starts with an introduction, then usually work instructions are communicated and made available to the learners, which lead to the acquisition of knowledge, and in the end a reflection takes place. Work instructions and knowledge is of course a core part in the learning process here, and they again can be structured further into an overview section and a cycle of exercises and reflections on these exercises. How is this implemented using the learning nuggets? You might have seen it when we edited the nugget that there are different nugget types. So for example, we have information nuggets, which focus on the transmission of theoretical knowledge. We have task nuggets, which focus on practical exercises or theoretical exercises. We have so-called question nuggets, which are used in an evaluation or in a knowledge assessment in a standard course. And these nugget types can be combined and can be put into a sequence. So basically, all the courses are built up from these different nugget types. And for example, while the introduction mainly relies on information nuggets, work instructions and knowledge acquisition are comprising of task nuggets, and they can even be sometimes structured further, whether they are consisting of question nuggets if it's a theoretical task that has to be performed with a reflection in the end, or whether it's another task nugget that is put into the task nugget. So basically using these different nugget types is a completely modular and atomic concept how the action-oriented learning concept is built up step by step from the bottom to the top. Furthermore, you have seen that there are standalone courses on Festo-LX which do not require any hardware or other materials, which can just be performed by the students on Festo-LX using a browser and an internet connection. But mainly the eLab courses also include our Festo didactic hardware learning systems, meaning different learning systems from pneumatics to hydraulics to industry automation, electricity and electronics that help to immerse from a theoretical learning into practical learning by directly having a practical task at hand going on. By, for example, creating an electronic circuit or pneumatic circuit, by creating a machinery that helps to illustrate the learning in practice. And now let's have a look at how the future looks like. So it is very important to state here that with Festo Learning Experience, we are quite new to the market. So we started with Festo-LX in April 2020. So we are roughly 1 year at the market, but we are still in a close dialogue with our customers. We are still interested also in their feedback and in developing Festo-LX together with our partners. And we have several topics here where we are working on, and one of these topics is, for example, competency management. That's a very important topic I'd like to share with you. So as you can see here in this graph or in this network, each of those elements called C1, C2, C3 and so on are representing competencies. These competencies are basically built up from the learning outcomes that are stated and tagged in the courses of Festo-LX, and we are aiming to use those competencies and learning outcomes in the future to identify competency profiles of the learners depending on what courses they have already completed on FestoLX, also combined with information we get from pre-assessment, for example, and use this information to discuss and recommend a matching learning path for the future for an individual student based on the existing and desired competencies the student wants to achieve. So this is one idea we want to pursue in the near future with FestoLX that even helps to improve the idea of individual learning further. And another topic we are working on is the idea of connected learning, which is related to the hardware I have shown to you, the eLab courses that you've seen. We want to take this idea even further as well, and not only combine FestoLX with the learning hardware systems, but also include our digital software systems into FestoLX and into the courses. So to pursue the idea of the action-oriented learning concept, and for example, to create and simulate fluidic systems with our FluidSim software directly in FestoLX, connected to a FestoLX course. So basically having the idea of a so-called digital twin, where we do not need for all the applications anymore a practical concept, but to make this also available in the digital realm, in the FluidSim, fluidic simulation and planning software. Secondly, we follow a similar approach with our Cyrus software. This is a software tool to create and simulate programs for robot automation. And basically, this tool does not require the robot itself, but it can run the robot software or the robot program in a separate virtual machine. And therefore, you can try to create a robotic program, which is then started and implemented completely in the digital realm. And again, of course, we want to connect that to FestoLX to enable direct switching from enabling theoretical knowledge in a FestoLX course to trying out this theoretical knowledge for a practical task with the Cyrus software. The third topic I'd like to quickly outline is the topic of mixed reality, including augmented reality, meaning a combination of what we actually see and perceive in the real world, augmented by digital information provided by a VR headset or by an app, for example, and virtual reality, which is a fully simulated environment. And both approaches are very interesting for us, again, connecting them to Festo learning experience, where with augmented reality, of course, it makes it very easy if you stand in front of a Festo learning system of any kind of hardware you want to work with, to directly access the technical documentation for this hardware, to introduce and train the new hardware to its users, and to visualize, for example, different states, which can also be failure states, and having kind of a learning program how to overcome these failure states. Virtual reality goes one step further, again providing a fully simulated environment where we can learn and teach how to do even physically dangerous tasks, but without the danger, as we have the simulated environment only. And this again provides an interesting application scenario also for technical and vocational education, again for the action-oriented approach to teaching and learning. So, coming to an end, I'd like to summarize a bit what I've showed to you in this presentation. Basically, my motivation was to show you a way and to give you an idea how the day in the life of a technical and vocational education teacher or educator can look like if the modern benefits and capabilities of digital education are used. We have had a look at these capabilities at the example of Festo Learning Experience, which is a cloud service providing different features around technical and vocational education, and which aims for us at Festo Didactic to fulfill the requirements of educators and teachers today, especially by providing a modern and interactive courseware at your fingertips, by providing the flexibility to create, own, or to customize existing courseware, by having an action-oriented approach to teaching and learning, by monitoring the learning progress and success, and therefore first directly providing feedback to the students, as well as providing feedback to the teachers, and therefore enabling the teachers also to follow up on the created assignments, on the created teaching concept, by providing individual learning and individualized assignments in addition to that. Finally, having a consistent and reliable tool without any infrastructure requirements. So the only requirements to use this portal are having an internet connection and having a browser where you can log in. So basically, that's it for this presentation. I hope it was interesting for you and you could take with it some ideas how to implement digital learning. And if you're interested, of course, I'd like to encourage you to have a look at Festo LX yourself. Just go to lx.festo.com in your web browser, for example, using this QR code, create your free account and log in with your newly created credentials, and you are then able to have a look into the system from the guest account's perspective. This guest account includes limited features like from the perspective of a learner, and access to limited courseware. So you will find some example courses that are available free of charge. And if you're interested in having an even closer and more detailed look into Festo LX, of course, you're very welcome to contact us after this presentation. And we can also provide you with a demo account, which provides full features and full access to Festo LX. So, from my side, thank you very much for your attention, for picking this presentation. And if you have any questions, of course, I hope you will stay for the discussion section afterwards. And alternatively, of course, you can also contact me via email. You can see the email address on this slide. Thanks again. I wish you a nice day, and thank you again. Bye. Okay, so welcome to the Q&A session. We just received the first question, which is, do you provide Festo learning experience in Thai language? Very good question, of course. Thank you for this one. At the moment, Festo LX is not available in Thai language. We are, however, providing several languages with Festo LX for the portal. Also, we have several languages for the courses. And we are aiming to put more and more languages into Festo LX. What is available at the moment is, for example, English, French, Spanish, Russian, and for the courseware, many more languages. But yeah, we are of course still at the process in providing more and more languages and adding them to the portal.
ดีครับผม Presto Thailand นะครับก็ขอเสริมเป็นภาษาไทยนิดนึงนะครับในส่วนของ Presto LX เนี่ยในส่วนของภาษาไทยเนี่ยนะครับเราสามารถรันบนGoogle Platform ซึ่งมันจะมีในส่วนของฟังก์ชัน Translate ได้นะครับเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยในเนื้อหาข้อความต่างๆที่เป็นภาษาอังกฤษนะครับมันจะถูก Translate ภาษาไทยได้นะครับส่วนหนึ่งที่คือที่ทาง Presto Thailand ได้มีประสบการณ์ในการใช้งานกับทางนักศึกษานะครับก็คือให้เขารันบนแพลตฟอร์มของ Google แล้วก็ใช้ฟังก์ชันGoogle Translate มันจะแปลให้ทั้งหมดเลยนะครับ Decoration
Okay. The next question is, how is data privacy and security implemented in FestoLX? This is, of course, a very important topic for us, as for all the cloud services that are used nowadays, especially in your schools, in your colleges, working with student data and tracking the learning process, of course, is important to do that in the correct way. Therefore, with FestoLX, we have a so-called privacy by design approach. This means that data privacy and data protection measures are included in the architecture, in the technology of FestoLX. We have, for example, a so-called learning record store. This is a separate database for all the learner data, which is encrypted, which is physically separated from the normal database of FestoLX to make it even more secure. Besides that, communication is encrypted to save these files. And besides that, of course, we are regularly checking FestoLX by third-party companies regarding its IT security and data protection issues. Furthermore, we are working together with Microsoft Azure as a hosting partner for FestoLX. So all the data and all the infrastructure behind FestoLX is managed by Microsoft on a global perspective. And of course, they are a very good partner for us helping here. Okay, next question is, how does licensing work in FestoLX? How many teachers and learners can I add to the system? Basically, FestoLX follows a subscription model approach. This means if you are interested in FestoLX, you can purchase the so-called basic access to FestoLX. This includes accessing the FestoLX portal, including all the features you have seen and all the courseware you have seen for an amount of years. We are currently having packages from 1 year to 5 years access. And the second dimension is the number of users or number of learners you require. Here we have packages from 25 learners to 500 learners at the moment. And you see from this approach, we only count the number of learners that are working on FestoLX. You can invite and create as many teacher accounts in FestoLX as you like. You can invite and create as many administrator accounts on FestoLX as you like. what is important is only the number of learners, and we only count those learners who have an assignment going on, who have an active assignment in FestoLX. So you have some flexibility to shift assignments around to, for example, if there is a class that has already finished, you can remove their assignments and those licenses will be freed up, and you can later on give those licenses to other students. Okay, next question is, in the content and design, is there any suggestion how we can integrate English as foreign language for non-native speaking countries such as the ASEAN? I'm not sure if I get the answer correct, the question correctly, but of course you can, I mean, there's one possibility that you can create your own learning nuggets based on the existing ones. So, of course, this is some effort, but you could change or extend the English courses and English nuggets by self-created ones in a different language. Maybe this could be helpful. Maybe also my colleagues can add something to this question.
I think at this point of time, there is no auto conversion from English to other languages. As what Dr. Philip mentioned, there are only 6 languages available right now. For ASEAN languages, we are still working in progress. At this point of time, no auto conversion.
There's one point coming to my mind. Thank you for your answer. You can use, for example, with Google Chrome or other browsers, they have an auto translation feature available, which automatically translates the content that is shown in your web page. And we have tried this, and we used this with FestoLX as well. So this can be some help for non-native speaking learners to have the content automatically translated by the browser. However, this is not a 100% solution, as, for example, videos might not be translated, but textual content is usually translated very good here.
บน Presto LX สามารถเพิ่มไฟล์งานได้มากน้อยแค่ไหนคะมีความจุได้เท่าไหร่ตัวนี้สามารถเพิ่มความจุได้เป็นระดับจิกนะครับก็สามารถเพิ่มในส่วนของไฟล์ที่เป็นไฟล์ PowerPoint นะครับวิดีโอคลิปวิดีโอนะครับแล้วก็ในส่วนของPDF ไฟล์นะครับเราสามารถแอดเข้าไปได้ในส่วนของถ้าทางเราสร้างตัวนักเก็ตขึ้นมาเองเราสามารถเพิ่มเพราะว่าตัวนี้ข้อมูลจะถูกเก็บไว้ในคลาวด์นะครับซึ่งทาง Festo ก็จะ provide พื้นที่ให้ได้มากโอเคฮะ next question
Yep. Next question is, can I use FestoLX on mobile phone? Answer is a clear yes. Festo Learning Experience is created as a responsive web application. This means it can be used on all kinds of devices. For example, personal computers, tablets, smartphones. You only need a modern web browser and can directly access FestoLX. We support web browsers like Google Chrome, Safari, Mozilla Firefox, and Microsoft Edge. With Microsoft Internet Explorer, well, it is discontinued by Microsoft, so we do not officially support this one. Besides your web browser and an internet connection, you don't have any infrastructure requirements on FestoLX. Next question is about using non-Festo hardware with FestoLX. So in the workshop, you have seen that, of course, we want to pursue the idea of combining practical learning and theoretical learning within one system. So we want to provide a learning experience combined of courseware, which is available on LX, and some practical tasks, which are usually done with our learning systems. At the moment, clear answer to this question is, at the moment, only Festo didactic learning systems are directly integrated in FestoLX. Of course, it is up to you if you create your own learning nuggets or if you adapt courses to relate to your existing hardware, which can be any kind of machinery in your shop floor, in your school. In the future, we plan also to integrate this explicitly into FestoLX, meaning that you can, for example, integrate your own hardware via a free text field and indicate what kind of, let's say, drilling machine you have, where it is located, in which room, and at which point it is required to perform a specific course on FestoLX. Oh, good question. Do we have courses in healthcare profession education on FestoLX? Unfortunately, not at the moment. So at the moment, we are focusing on the topics of technical and vocational education, for example, in pneumatics, hydraulics, industrial automation, mechatronics, electricity, electronics, also some courses on smart maintenance or lean management. So this is basically what we have available right now. Strategically, FestoLX will be our portal where all the courseware that Festo Didactic provides will be made available within the next months and years. However, healthcare is at the moment not in our portfolio, but it's an interesting question, and I mean, we can certainly take that into account for our future planning. Okay, the last question is how to register on FestoLX. So basically, what you can do right now is just to navigate in your web browser to lx.festo.com. You will find our landing page with some general information about what Festo LX is. And on this landing page, you will find a button which is called Create Test Account. You can just register on this button for your Festo LX account by providing your name and email address, and you will then receive a confirmation email with a link to validate your registration and to access Festo LX. With this so-called guest account, you can access Festo LX for as long as you want. You can, however, only have certain features like the learner perspective you have seen in the workshop. So you can see the courseware library, you can have a look at the equipment, but you do not have the teacher features available or the administration features. With the free guest account, you have 25 teaser courses that are available free of charge. So you can see the complete course, how it is built, what content is available, how the content is didactically provided to you. And besides that, if you are more interested in having a look at Festo LX, we can certainly provide you with a demo account. The demo account is a 30-day full access to Festo learning experience. This means that you need to contact our colleagues here, and we will set up a specific demo voucher code for you, which you can redeem in Festo LX with your free guest access. After you have redeemed this voucher code, you get full access to Festo LX, meaning all the features are available to you. You will have access to all the courseware that is currently available on Festo LX in all languages that are available. And you can try out Festo LX with up to 5 colleagues from the same institution than you are, manage your roles, create assignments amongst each other, create your own content if you like. So you have everything available that is there on Festo LX with the demo voucher. Just contact us and we will provide you with such a demo voucher for 30-day demo. After the demo is over, your account will be going back to the free guest access. So it stays open, you can still access LX, but the features will then be a bit smaller.
Please next question. โอเคครับผมสำหรับการสัมมนาในส่วนของ Festo LX วันนี้นะครับก็ถ้าหากทางผู้เข้าชมนะครับต้องการในส่วนของไปเสนอราคาหรือในส่วนของข้อมูลเทคนิคเพิ่มเติมนะครับหรือต้องการที่จะทดลองใช้งานนะครับก็ สามารถติดต่อได้ที่ทางผมที่ขึ้นที่อยู่นะครับในส่วนของที่โชว์ตอนนี้ก็คือผมราชพฤกษ์9 ป้อมนะครับในส่วนของ Worlddidac Thailand ก็สามารถติดต่อเข้ามาได้ในทั้งเบอร์โทรศัพท์และอีเมลครับก็วันนี้ก็ขอบคุณมิสเตอร์ฟิลิปนะครับที่ให้ข้อมูล thank you Mr. Philip นะครับ and thank you Mr. Fu today it's finished the workshop. Thank you everybody to join.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.